Are you constantly battling financial instability? Do you feel the crushing weight of debt, with seemingly no way out? In today's economy, money problems can feel like an overwhelming burden, stealing your peace of mind and leaving you anxious about the future. You're not alone. The constant struggle, the endless bills, the relentless worries, they can drain your spirit. But what if there was a timeless, powerful solution, a pathway to true financial freedom and security, right within your reach? A way to break free from the cycle of debt and find genuine God's provision? Welcome back to Biblical Truth Revealed, where we uncover profound insights from God's Word to navigate life's toughest challenges, including our finances. If you're seeking biblical wisdom, financial guidance, and practical strategies for a more abundant life rooted in faith, hit that subscribe button now and join our growing community of truth seekers. Today, we're diving deep into the very heart of financial stability, debt relief, and overcoming money worries by exploring what the Bible reveals about true financial freedom and wise stewardship. Let's be honest, financial instability and debt are not new problems. People throughout history have grappled with them. The Bible, in its profound wisdom, doesn't shy away from these realities. In fact, it offers a radical and liberating perspective. It tells us that much of our financial stress stems from a misunderstanding of God's design for our money and the dangers of living outside of God's provision. Consider Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7, which states, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." This powerful verse doesn't condemn borrowing outright, but it paints a stark picture of the bondage of debt. It highlights the loss of freedom, the weight of obligation, and how being in debt can truly impact your life. Or Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 12, where God promises, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to bless all the work of your hands. You will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none." This is a picture of financial blessing and freedom from debt that God desires for his people. So, how do we get there? What are the biblical principles that lead us out of financial hardship? Here are, some profound biblical strategies for breaking free from financial instability and debt and walking in God's abundance. First, let's talk about stewardship and tithing, recognizing God as the owner. The foundational principle is that everything we have belongs to God. As Psalm 24 verse 1 reminds us, we're really just managers or stewards. The Bible teaches us to honor God with our first fruits through tithing, as in Proverbs 3 verses 9 and 10. This isn't just a religious duty, it's actually an act of faith that unlocks God's blessings and helps reorient our hearts away from materialism. When we acknowledge God's ownership, our perspective on money management really shifts. Next, budgeting and planning, that's wise management. Proverbs 21 verse 5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." The Bible encourages careful financial planning and budgeting. This means knowing where your money goes, creating a spending plan, and living within your means. It's about intentionality, not just cutting expenses. A biblical budget prioritizes needs, savings, giving, and then desires. Now, debt avoidance and repayment, seeking freedom. While some types of borrowing aren't condemned, the Bible strongly cautions against debt. If you are in debt, it's important to commit to a clear plan to pay it off aggressively. This might involve prioritizing high-interest debts, cutting unnecessary expenses, and even for a while, sacrificing some luxuries. Remember, the goal is freedom from bondage. Seek counsel from those who are debt-free, saving and investing wisely, preparing for the future. Proverbs 6 verses 6 to 8 points to the ant as an example of diligence and saving for the future. The Bible encourages us to store up resources, not for hoarding, but for wisdom, security, and generosity. This includes building an emergency fund, saving for major purchases, and wise investing, as in the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. It's really about building a solid financial foundation, hard work and diligence, earning with integrity. 2 Thessalonians 3 verse 10 says, "The one who is unwilling to work shall not eat." The Bible consistently promotes hard work, diligence, and integrity in our earnings. This isn't about chasing wealth, but about being responsible and providing for our families. It also opens doors for blessing and provision. And finally, generosity and giving, blessing others. Proverbs 11 verses 24 and 25 says, "One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." This is perhaps one of the most counterintuitive biblical financial principles. When we are generous with what God has given us, not only do we bless others, but we open ourselves up to more of God's provision. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance. I've personally experienced seasons of financial stress and, honestly, that feeling of being trapped by expenses. It's easy to lose hope when bills pile up or the income just isn't consistent. But it was through faithfully applying these very biblical principles, committing to a budget, prioritizing giving even when it was tough, and truly trusting in God's provision, that I began to see breakthroughs. It's not always easy, and it definitely takes discipline. But the peace of mind and freedom that come from aligning your finances with God's word are truly immeasurable. It's really about trusting that God is your ultimate provider, not your paycheck or your bank account. If you're ready to break free from financial instability and the chains of debt, I urge you to apply these timeless truths from God's word. So, comment below, what's the biggest financial challenge you're facing right now? Or maybe one biblical financial principle that has impacted your life? Share it in the comments. Let's create a supportive community where we can pray for each other and share wisdom. And, if this message resonated with you and brought you even a glimmer of hope and direction for your finances, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who desperately need this financial guidance. Do you know someone who's battling financial stress, debt, or instability? Share this video with them. You could be an instrument of God's provision in their life. And don't forget to subscribe for more. Don't miss out on future biblical insights and spiritual guidance for every area of your life. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated when we release powerful new content aimed at helping you live a life of purpose and peace. Remember, God desires for you to live a life of freedom and abundance, not constant financial stress. He provides the wisdom and the means to overcome debt and build a secure future. Trust in His biblical principles and step into the financial peace that only He can offer. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you on your journey to true financial stability and